And good morning. I'm titling today Thanksgiving Ramblings by Ron. And I wrote as a blurb, no blurb today, just ramblings. No idea where it's going. As I meditated this morning, of course, I was thankful for lots of things. I'm always in a space of thanksgiving and appreciation for all the little things that most people don't even think about, all the things that work. We have a tendency, myself included, to focus on what doesn't work. But I like to take time on a regular basis to just be thankful for the things that do work. Things like my refrigerator and all of my other appliances, my hot water heater, my automobile, that the structure of my house stays intact, the breezes that blow, the birds that sing. So many things in my life that would be normally taken for granted are things that I'm appreciative of. I'm appreciative of all the people in my life that share their ideas with me, share their appreciation with me. People that sometimes challenge me to think outside the box or to look at something again that I thought I've already looked at and clarified. Nothing is taken for granted except everything that is taken for granted, the things that I don't remember to say thank you for. So maybe that's what today is supposed to be about, remembering to say thank you for the things that I don't say thank you for often enough. My grandchildren are coming to visit me today. It's probably been close to a year since they've actually been at my house. Usually the visitation, it's the other way around. I visit at my daughter's house. But today my daughter is bringing the children here before she goes over to my ex-wife's house for the Thanksgiving dinner. I actually did not till last night get invited to any Thanksgiving dinner, and I was invited last night to somebody else's Thanksgiving dinner. In other words, not the person that invited me. It's not at her house, it's at somebody else's house, and I got invited for 4 o'clock this afternoon. And it's funny because this will be the first Thanksgiving in a good long time that I did not until last night have any idea what I was going to do, and I planned to have my Thanksgiving dinner home alone by myself. I have more friends than I've ever had in my entire life, and yet I was going to be having Thanksgiving alone. Which, yes, there was some sadness about that no one had invited me to spend Thanksgiving with them. And there's been times I've had 3 or 4 people invite me to Thanksgiving dinner. So I thought that was a little bit strange, but okay, it is what it is, and I roll with that. Anyway, I was also thankful last night. Christopher Timms was back. It's the first time he's been here since September. His October meeting, he ended up canceling the day before because of things that were happening prior to his trip to Arkansas. But anyway, I was appreciative especially of one thing that he cleared up, because he has always had this belief we do not create our reality. There's no such thing as co-creation. And of course, I've disagreed with him on that completely, but I got clarification from him last night when I challenged it yet again. He says how did he put it? Oh, I wish I could remember sometimes. My mind goes blank on me. We identify, he had another C word, not creation, but another word that to me it's just another form of creating. But he says words are very important. And what he meant was, and by no co-creation, is that most of the people that he counsels and talks with, they get the idea that we can co-create our reality by, well, we can imagine a brand new car. We put the color in, and we do this treasure mapping where we put all these material things in our co-creatorial vision of what we want to bring into our world, and it's about things. And he says, that's not what co-creation is. And I agree with him. That's materialism. And co-creation really doesn't have to do with materialism. It has to do by being the person that you are, by imagining yourself, if you will, as the powerful being you are when you are in this finite human form, and you don't think of yourself as powerful, but you imagine yourself. And somebody will say, well, Ron, that's fake it till you make it. Yeah, I guess in a sense it is, so I'm eating my own words, maybe, that I've said in the past. But it's the truth. We are powerful, infinite beings, and we are creators. But what we create is not necessarily the material things that surround us in our lives so much as how we react to them. I had a person call me on the phone the day before yesterday, I guess it was, and listens to some of my videos occasionally, but they depress her because she doesn't see what there is in the world to be optimistic about. She doesn't see that. All she can see is all the things that are wrong, and it depresses her. There's a lot of people that could say that exact same thing as she told me. And I listened for 15 or 20 minutes, maybe longer, as she went on and on and on about all the things that are wrong in her life. I listened. She's creating her own reality. Why? Because what she's creating is depression. I can look at all the things that are challenges in my own life. And if that's all I looked at, if I didn't see purpose behind them, if I didn't give meaning to them, I would get very depressed as well. It would be very easy. I've been depressed before. I know what it's all about, to not feel hope, to not see the light at the end of the tunnel. I've been there lots of times. I've gone through the dark night of the soul again and again and again. How many times do you have to go through the dark night of the soul? Well, as many times as we choose to create that reality. And it is that we do create that reality. And what creates it is how we choose to respond to the things and circumstances and feelings and thoughts that are present in our life and in our world. Our experience. That is our experience. That's the only thing that is not an illusion, ever. Your experience is your experience. Period. Your thoughts are your thoughts. Your feelings are your feelings. That's your experience. Your circumstances are your experience. How do you choose to see them? How do you choose to act and react to them, to respond to them? That's your responsibility. I choose to see light at the end of the tunnel. I choose in all the stuff that's going on in the world that looks like it's falling apart. I choose to see wonder there. I choose to see good things there. Okay. Christopher began last night and reiterated again and again through his talk that everything in the world is changing. That our religion, our politics, our economic system, there's nothing that can be hung on to, because everything is new. Everything is changing. But there was one thing that he emphasized, that he often emphasizes, and that to him is his dogma, and it never changes, and that is that we're supposed to either be vegan or live food, people, because that's good for the spirit. That increases the spiritual apparatus of our being and enables us to delve more deeply. And if we are what we eat, and that's his particular fundamentalist dogma. And I chuckle because I probably have mine, don't I? And other people may chuckle at my dogmatic viewpoints that I'm immovable. I'm immovable on the thing that we're all one. I'm immovable that separation is the only real illusion. I'm immovable on that. That's foundational for me. I suspect it will always be foundational. I am dogmatic that duality is not a bad thing. To Christopher and most other spiritual teachers, duality is what we're getting rid of, and we must get rid of duality. I see that as a horrific idea. Who would ever want to get rid of dark and light and the contrast that is gifted to us in being able to determine this is light and this is dark? I would never want to get rid of masculine and feminine. I always want there to be that interaction between that which penetrates and that which receives the penetration. Yes, that may sound sexual, and so what? It happens in all of life. In all of life. Something penetrates something else, and it is spirit that penetrates matter. I always want that to be the case because that's what creation is. Creation is a sexual act of a dance between opposites and contrast. I'm really dogmatic about that kind of shit. I mean, I really like it. You understand what I'm saying? That makes sense to me. It makes my heart sing to know that the drama has meaning. It's temporal, which makes it illusionary because it's not permanent. But what is permanent? The dance is permanent. Life is permanent. And life expresses itself in the dance. But we can turn the dance, as we've done in duality, when we've turned it into a duel, a fight, where one side tries to eliminate the other. And if you eliminate duality, you've just destroyed all creation and all life. I'm dogmatic about that. I think that most spiritual teachers are full of shit when they say that we're going to move out of duality. No, we're not going to move out of duality. We're going to move out of polarization. We're going to stop the stupid fighting. And I'm happy about that. I know I don't see it happening on a very wide scale yet, but that's my reality. And that's how I choose to see the world. And it's why people like you are probably listening to me, because I can put a spin on something that gives you hope in your heart, because it resonates with something that's in your spirit, that's part of you deep, deep, deep down inside. And it makes you feel good. Because resonance makes us feel good, as opposed to dissonance. When we look at the world and we see everything falling apart, what do we feel? We feel dissonance, which is why we get depressed and why we feel bad and sad and angry and upset and rage. Yeah. Because we're experiencing the dissonance. I experience the resonance even within the dissonance. The dissonance gives me contrast. And I'm appreciative of the ability to have discernment, to develop wisdom through experience. To say, hey, I don't have to throw all this away. I can just choose to see it in a better light, which is the light of embracing opposites, the light of wholeness, the light of oneness, the life of healing, the life where everything is interconnected with everything else. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's tremendous diversity, tremendous, tremendous display of the creative power of the universe itself. And it is constantly being created, constantly being formed and reformed again and again. Over and over and over again, we get the display of the creative ability of the cosmos. And we are the cosmos, because everything that's happening out there is happening inside of us. When you see who you are, it gives you something to be thankful for. You're not the victim of it. You're part of the co-creative experience that is ongoing by God, and by God working through creation. And that's a beautiful thing to me. I want you to know that that's a beautiful thing to me, and it's something to be thankful for. Anyway, I've rambled long enough today. I'm going to pull the cord. It's just now turned 15 minutes. I just looked down there at the timer that's clicking, 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 clicking away in the seconds, and actually hundredths of seconds. It's going that fast. Be thankful today. Whatever's going on in your life, ask Spirit to help you see it from a higher perspective. And when you're able to do that, I guarantee you, life will look better. Bless you. Namaste. Thank you for listening.